So this is my first 50-pound bag of Quikrete pool filter sand, and I was rinsing it, but it is remarkably clear. I don't think I'm going to rinse the other 250 pounds. I think that is perfectly fine. I've rinsed a lot of sand before. If you rinse play sand, I mean, it is milk when you're rinsing play sand. Obviously this stuff is a tad bit more expensive than play sand, but if you're using it for an aquarium or pond application, this, in my opinion, is perfect right out of the bag. So I'm going to drain this tub and put this first 50 pounds into the pond, and then I'm going to put the other 5 bags directly into the pond. So I added 300 pounds of Quikrete pool filter sand. I like it. It's got a natural sand color. It's not bright white or anything. So that's what I was kind of expecting. So I really like the color. While this is clearing up, I'm going to go ahead and rinse off the decor that I got to put in here to give Jugger the opportunity to get to the surface easily, and it looks natural. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll rinse that off, and then this may be a little bit clearer here in a minute or not, but it's still remarkably clear. I can see the pump, the existing pump right there. So I'm really happy with how clear that sand was out of the bag and the minimal rinsing that it would require. I can see the bottom. You guys might not be able to with the glare, but I can see the bottom, so that was awesome. But let's go ahead and rinse off the decor that's going to go inside this stock tank. All right, let's see what we got here. I'm going to try to smooth out some sand, pick up some debris. I can do some more work on the sand in a minute. So I think the cypress log, on the cypress knee, I think is what it's called, will go maybe it's gotta go. So I'm thinking about which side of the pond wall. I think this side needs to go against the wall, and that way Jugger can come up here if necessary. Obviously it's going to be necessary for him to get out of the water to get a breath of air. So oh yeah, he can easily get up around here on that. And I'm going to take the other log and put it over there. There's a cinder block underneath this plant, and so a piece of it will stick on the cinder block coming up, and that way he can use that as a limb as well. So the whole goal is, first of all, to clean up all this janky DIY stuff I had going on, but the goal of the decor was to make sure he could easily get out of the water to get a breath, and I think this is going to accomplish that. And also under here should be like a little cave. He can get under there and feel secure. So eventually I'm going to hook up a hose. This fountain apparatus will be gone. I'm gonna hook up a hose to the Sicce Filtra pond filter, and it is gonna, I'm gonna put the filter towards this back wall, and the hose is gonna come up over here, and there'll be a U attachment going into the bog. And then so water will come out of here, the bog will act as filtration, the Sicce will act as filtration, obviously. All of my janky PVC and trash can, that will all be gone. And I'm gonna let this run for a little bit before I start on that. And when we come back, we will check out the Sicce, which so far has been awesome. I'll talk a little bit more about that, but we'll do that when we come back. All right, so it's just a couple minutes later. It's clearing up remarkably well, and I lost my little attachment for the hose that will keep it on, so I'm gonna do this manually unless I can figure out how to hold it down. I guess I get a twist tie or something, but or let's be smart about this. Let me shut off this. I'll take the nozzle off and just put the hose in there. Be right back. All right, hose is running. We're going to top this bad boy off. I'm going to go ahead and put some capfuls of prime, remove the fresh chloramines from the tap water, also neutralizes ammonia, but I don't think there'll be any in here. But we'll go ahead and be on the safe side. Want to make sure Jugger has a safe environment to go into here shortly. I'm going to put 7 capfuls in. So let's break out the handy little tripods. And it doesn't need 7. I mean, this water is aged, but just to be on the safe side, 1 capsule does 50 gallons. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. In addition to that, I'm going to put some neutral regulator in there. I think the water will be fine for him. He's no longer a baby. Baby alligator snapping turtles, on the advice of Mr. John Richards from Loggerhead Acres Turtle Farm, who I got Jugger from. They like soft acidic water. It's better for their shell and their skin. But I think as they get bigger, they're a little more tolerant of harder water, alkaline water. But I want to make sure the pH is at least neutral. This does 2,000 to 4,000 gallons. That's what the instructions say. I'm just going to eyeball it, put a little bit in there. There's no doubt in my mind that this water is already fairly soft and probably neutral. I scooped out a lot of leaves, a lot of organic matter out of the bottom. So, and it's been out here getting rained on and all that good stuff. So we'll do about that's roughly half of that. So we'll let that circulate through. I'm going to let it top off, and then I'm going to start tearing out all the old filtration. Now, I take that back. Then I'm going to set up the Sicce the way I want it. Then I'll start tearing out all the old filtration. All right, we'll see you in a little bit. All right, so here's the new filtration for Jugger's 300-gallon Rubbermaid stock tank home. This is the Sicce Filtra Pond 2500. This is the mid-range model. There's a smaller one, and then obviously there's a larger one. This is mid-range. It comes, this is biological media, porous material that the biological filter will establish in, but you know, any surface on here is going to get beneficial bacteria. The bog has filtration and from a filtration material in it. And plus that lily is huge. It's going to do some nutrient export when it's growing. This has a 9 watt ultraviolet clarifier, which I've had this thing running already for a few days. I went ahead and cleaned up the sponge and everything. I didn't want to film that because that'll be for a maintenance video, maybe in the spring or something. But I'm very happy with this thing so far. Indicator light, so you can tell when the UV is running and the in the evening or whatever. Water comes through the top up here. Obviously that's the top. I don't know, maybe I can get this on here with one hand. Well, that's the problem. There we go. Cord comes through there. All right, do that. Do that. One plug runs both the return pump and the UV, which is awesome because you see I have two pumps there. Two plugs there. That's for the pump from the pond into the filter, and then I have another pump inside the filter keeping the K1 filter media rotating. And then when I had a Tetra UV sterilizer, that was two more plugs, one for the pump to feed it, one for the transformer to run the UV. So this was a very convenient option for me. When I saw it, I thought that is awesome. So now let's set the tripod up. Make sure I'm still filming. Yep. And I have my cup of hot water. I don't like this rigid tubing, but in a pinch I'm going to go ahead and get probably some black silicone tubing at some point, which is much more flexible. But we're going to go ahead and do this for now. And so filter is going to push water into the bog over there, and we'll talk about it more in a minute. But let's go ahead and make this end of the hose pliable. And I don't have any hose clamps, but so far this appears to be pretty tight fit. So it's warming up. Kind of ugly, to be honest with you, the rigid. Alright. It's not quite as tight as I thought as the U, but I think as it cools down, when it touches the cold water, it should hopefully filter is going to be on this side of the pond. That's kind of hidden. Alright. Let's see what happens when I plug it in. Let's point over there. See how much more water starts coming out. Man, I got water all over the plug and everything. Electrocute myself out here. Dum-dum. First of all, let's unplug the old filter. We're going to tear it down, and we'll let that stop. Maybe. When you going to stop there, fella? We'll start slowing down here shortly. All right. Alright. Alright, she's running. The old filter is off, and that's the flow from the new filter, so that's pretty good. And then obviously the lily and all these aquatic plants are going to die off during the winter. I'll clean them up, make sure they don't decay in there, cause any pollution. But we're going to let it run. I am going to go ahead and tear down the old filter, get it out of the way before we bring Jugger over here. So I'll be back. All right, all the old plumbing's gone. Do need to do a little bit of landscaping, some weeding out here, but I don't think Jugger's going to have any need to leave the water, he or she. Too small to tell. There's my garden gnome Jawa. I think it looks a lot better. I'm going to flip that rock around. That should be the back side. But that's where the plug is to the filter, pumped into the bog. So between the filter, the UV clarifier, and this bog, that is the filtration for this 300-gallon Rubbermaid stock tank pond sunk in the ground. I just had thermometers in both this and the Waterland tub that Jugger is currently in. This is a couple of degrees warmer. It was at 74, which is pretty cool, seeing as how it gets down into the high 50s at night here lately. And the Waterland tub was a couple of degrees cooler, 72, 71. So let's use this, because I gotta find him, because if you guys have seen previous videos, algae is a major problem in here, and that's the impetus to get him into something better. So let's go ahead and unplug the return pump, or the filter pump. Good gosh, that bad boy's on there. Let's see. Need two hands. Oh my gosh. I gotta work out more. There we go. Okay. So that's done. Let's get this. Oh, he's right there, his head. There's his head. Get this out of the water. Water all on my feet. Awesome. Look at that. Yep. Please don't be upset with me. Maintenance has lacked, because I knew today was coming. So let's find big boy. There he is. Don't know. Well, that's the head side. I gotta get him out of the water. Okay. All right. I don't know if I'm gonna do this one-handed. Oh, there we go. Let go of the net, big guy. I don't know if you guys can see that. He's not happy with that net. All right, let's go. It's all right, Jugger. Okay. All right. What are you doing, buddy? You gonna let the net go? Easy. All right. All right. You ready to go? All right, and we're not going to see him for a while. I got a feeling this will be completely clear tomorrow. So tomorrow afternoon, I will finish this video. I am going to set this bad boy up on a little time lapse for as long as the battery lasts, to see if we can catch him making his way to the surface on either the Universal Rocks cypress stump or the Universal Rocks, whatever that is, tree stump. So let me go get a chair so I can set that up, and I'm gonna let that run for a little while. We'll see what we can see, but you guys will not see me again, and probably Jugger, until tomorrow afternoon. So stay tuned. All right, so it's the next day. I don't want to fall into the pond, but she cleared up right nicely. Looks like I missed some leaves when I took my net through there to try to clear it up some, but you can easily see the Universal Rocks cypress knee. But there's Jugger right there. I think I might have to add maybe 100 pounds of sand. My goal is to get about an inch, at least maybe an inch and a half of sand on the bottom. Give him someplace to nestle into when he brumates for the winter. But let's see if he'll eat. All right. Mind my mess. Outside is always in a perpetual state of flux, whatever that means. Okay. His mouth is wide open. So it's just some catfish chunks. I think we're gonna go underwater. Hopefully you can hear me. That didn't work. Let's see if we can get him to come up on the log. I thought he was just going to sit right there and let me feed him in front of the camera, but that didn't work. Alright, I hope you guys can hear me okay. So, Jugger's makeover. I think it went really, really well. Updates will be forthcoming, especially throughout the winter. Should I share with you guys how he overwinters? I'll share maintenance on the filter. It's gonna be awesome. So follow along, subscribe, like, share, comment. Thanks.